Hello my friends, it's Kimmerby here, and for a change I am doing some mixed media in my studio today, so I thought I would take you along. This page, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I've had one of the worst, I don't know, I guess it's been about a year and a half, no, more than that. Since May of 2014, I have been dealing with a pretty serious back injury associated with significant pain and what's the word I'm looking for? Disruption of my life, I guess. And I've been really, as of late, I've been really depressed after a long road of doctor's appointments and referrals and tests and x-rays and MRIs and CT scans and so much else. I finally, I live in Canada. You would think it would be easier. We're supposed to have the most amazing healthcare system, and I'm trying not to complain, but boy, it's been quite a road. To make a long story short, I finally got to see a neurologist who feels that he can fix my neuropathy in my thoracic spine surgically. So that was back in October of 2015. So he booked surgery for December. It got canceled, rescheduled, canceled, rescheduled again. So it's supposed to happen next week. So anyway, as of late, I've been really depressed. It's been quite a roller coaster. So I decided today that I'm going to try and get into my, well, I am in my studio, but I'm going to try and get into my art journal and just started pulling stuff out of my stash, just really pretty randomly, just stuff I kind of want to use up, stuff that was already on my desk, stuff that I've had in my stash forever, blah blah blah. So anyway, it kind of serendipitously, is that the right word? Serendipitously came together, and it looks, I can't believe this happened. But anyway, I started pulling stuff out of my stash, and over here I've got a little collage that sort of signifies I am to be happy, love. So that's pretty significant in terms of that's what I want in my life. So I then pulled out a heart and a self-portrait and a few little odds and sods, as well as a bicycle, which signifies a few things. My desire to get back to physical activity, as well as my journey that it took to, I don't know, get here today, and the journey I have ahead of me after surgery and recovery, etc. So, inspired by a few of my favorite artists, I decided that, and I forgot, I have a bazillion butterflies that I've had in my stash forever. And butterflies for me signify my flight, my renewed hope for happiness and my life back. So that's enough. That's enough blathering. I'm just going to probably not do an awful lot of talking from here on out. So most likely I'll put on some music and time lapse and just play. Oh, and I should mention that I'm going to use light molding paste as my glue. It's going to give me a few things. It's going to give me texture, and it's going to function as glue, because I've got a few dimensional things here. These are chipboard, so they're pretty thick. So let's get to playing. I am the most impatient person in the world, so it's only been about 5 minutes. And I've already pulled out another product. This is called Magical in Hydrangea Blue. And it's a powder coming out of the jar. And then when you add water, it is magical. Alright, so what I had intended to do before I went a little crazy with the magical powder is cover everything with a coat of gesso. Well, probably not everything, but most everything. So that's gonna happen now. Alright, so it's probably about 25% dry, I would say. I hit it with the heat gun on both sides. So I am now going to cover it all with a coat of matte medium, because I actually have a plan, which I almost never do. But it's only a very short-term plan. I have the next like 2 steps planned. Beyond that, I have no idea what shall happen. Okay, so I'm back for the next big scary step. I just have a palette pad here and some turquoise phthalo golden fluid acrylic. And some acrylic glazing liquid. This happens to be gloss, so I am making a glaze. Weird how the camera changes the color. Now my hope is that this is going to bring out all the texture of the butterflies and the bicycle, the heart. Alright, so I want a little more, it just looks all too blue, so I'm going to add more blue. My plan is to add another color or two into the mix, but for the time being I have some of this glazing left over, so I'm just going around the very edge with a really tiny little brush. Okay, so I think I'm just going to take some of my glittery Posca pens and maybe go around a couple of the butterflies. So I'm deciding to glaze again, this time with Payne's Gray, and I'm just going over the butterflies. Alrighty, so I'm going to frame the entire spread, I think, with Cobalt Archival ink. So I'm playing a little bit in my journal and playing with a new to me product. So I thought I would turn on the camera, take you along. Could be boring, but just thought it was worth turning the camera on since it's here and I feel like it. So I got these adhesive rub-ons, they're called, and Donna Downey had used them in one of her Inspiration Wednesday classes. They are by Prima, Christine Adolph for Prima, and they're basically, I mean, they're not a new concept, but I guess they're just a new take on an older concept. Basically, they come in a bunch of different designs, and I picked up the one with some flowers and various designs. And I have this page, which I'm not happy with at all. It started off so cool, and at one point it was very cool, and then I just went too far with it, like I tend to do. But that's what an art journal is all about, right? So why not add more to it since it's already a hot mess, right? It needs something. It was all blue at one point, so I added the drips, and I like it a little better, but still just not real happy with it. So I wanted to try out these rub-on products. So you basically just take the acetate layer, and you won't be able to see that very well, but place it on the page and take your fancy tool and transfer the video, so you may have already watched that. So let me see now. I've got it all down. Looks good. Awesome. Okay, so now you can add glitter, you can add I don't know, glitter's the only thing that comes to mind right now other than what I'm going to use, which is this is also by Prima, and I believe it's designed to go with the rub-on product. They just call them foils, and it comes in a package of 6 sheets. This package is, I don't know, gold and silver, I think. So I thought I'd throw some gold on this page. If I can find the sheet, I thought I had it out. It looks more coppery to me. Yeah. Here's the gold. Oh, there's 2 of them. Okie dokie. So there we go. I don't even know if there's any instructions that go with these foils. Not really. kind of looks like using my finger is working pretty well, so I'll go with that and see how it goes. Pretty bumpy surface here, so I think I need to use more than my fingers. You can actually see it transferring, so it's pretty foolproof. It's a good thing it's idiot proof. I'm just rubbing very lightly. It may look like I'm pressing hard, but I'm not. I'm just barely going over the surface here just to make sure it's all touching. This stuff seems pretty fragile to me, so deal and the big ring. Out a little bit. Wow. That worked really well. It's fairly subtle, which is what I was kind of hoping for on this page, because obviously I've already got a lot going on, so I just wanted to kind of try and bring everything together. I already have a little bit of gold happening, so I thought it would be nice to add a bit more. So since that turned out so well, I might add some more. Should I or should I not? Maybe not, maybe not on this page. But I do want to do something else, but I'm not sure what. That was fun. I'll be back. Right, so since I've got gold over here, I always like to have, when I put something on this side, I like to kind of add the same element on the other side. I don't know, just me, I guess, but that's just the way I like to balance out my 2 pages. I almost always do 2-page spreads, so that's just kind of the way I work. So I've got a Wink of Stella brush here, and it's got a, obviously it's gold, and I'm just going over this letter B with kind of diagonal rough strokes, and I thought I'd go the other way just to give it kind of a rough covering. So when I started this page, it was a couple of months ago, and I was into this self-love thing, and I need to get, that sounds horrible the way I say it, but I want to get back to feeling that way. So it was good to look at this page again and revisit it. So it's still a bit sticky. I think I just didn't quite get the glue or the undercoat covered, so I wonder if this might work just to get rid of the stickiness. Yeah, it does seem to have helped. So I don't know, I think I'm almost finished with this page. I kind of want to move on and start something else. So the only thing I think it needs is maybe just something around the edge. So I'm going to start with a I think a black ink pad, if I can find one. Oh, you know what I need? Some splots. My friend Paula, Journal Artista on YouTube, calls splatters, I think is what most people call them. She calls them splots. So I'm just going to mix up a watery mixture of white acrylic paint or gesso. What do I have handy? Probably gesso.